Lee Min-ho's father just had a reaction to Song Hye Kyo's pregnancy that is absolutely breaking the internet, and I am not emotionally prepared for this. Stop scrolling right now because what just happened with Lee Min-ho's father is the most unexpected, touching and powerful moment in this entire pregnancy journey. We're talking about a man who has stayed completely silent and private for decades, suddenly stepping into the spotlight to say something so profound about his son, his future daughter-in-law, and his unborn grandson that millions of people are sobbing uncontrollably. This wasn't planned, this wasn't scripted. This was pure emotion caught on camera and shared with the world. The way he spoke about Song Hye Kyo will have you in tears. What he said about becoming a grandfather will destroy you. And his message to his son Lee Min-ho is the most beautiful father-son moment you will ever witness. Stay until the very end because the final words will leave you speechless. Before we get into this viral moment, hit that like button, subscribe immediately, and turn on every notification because you cannot miss what happens next in this incredible story. Now let's talk about what just happened and why Lee Min-ho's father is trending worldwide right now, with people calling this the most touching moment of the year. This man has been a ghost in public life, completely absent from media, never giving interviews, never attending public events, staying so private that most fans didn't even know what he looked like until now. For him to suddenly appear and speak publicly about something so personal tells you everything about how significant this moment is and how deeply he feels about his son's growing family. This wasn't a prepared statement read by an agency or a carefully crafted PR response. This was raw, unfiltered emotion from a father who couldn't stay silent anymore, who needed to say something, who had feelings too powerful to keep private any longer. The moment happened completely unexpectedly at a charity event in Seoul, one of those high-profile gatherings where Korea's business and society elite come together for philanthropic causes. Lee Min-ho's father attended as he occasionally does, always quietly in the background, never drawing attention to himself despite being a successful businessman from a prominent family. Nobody expected anything newsworthy from his presence there. He was supposed to be just another wealthy donor in the crowd, writing a check and leaving without fanfare. But something happened during the event that changed everything and created a moment nobody present will ever forget. The charity was specifically focused on maternal and child health, providing prenatal care and support to low-income mothers across Korea. During the program, a young mother stood up to share her story about how the charity's support had saved her life and her baby's life during a difficult pregnancy. She talked about being alone, scared, without resources or family support, facing complications that could have been fatal without intervention. She described the prenatal care she received, the doctors who believed in her, the community that surrounded her, and how she now has a healthy 1-year-old son because of this organization's work. Her story was emotional and powerful, and by the end there wasn't a dry eye in the room. And then something incredible happened. Lee Min-ho's father, this man who has never spoken publicly about anything personal in his entire life, stood up from his seat. The room fell silent immediately because everyone recognized him even though he rarely appears anywhere. He walked to the front of the room, asked for the microphone, and what came out of his mouth next shocked every single person there. "I need to say something," he began, his voice already shaking with emotion. "I'm about to become a grandfather for the first time. My son and his partner are expecting a baby boy, and listening to this young mother's story has made me realize I need to speak about something I've kept private for too long." He talked about his own wife's pregnancy with Lee Min-ho decades ago, a story nobody knew and nobody expected to hear. "My wife almost died giving birth to my son," he revealed, stunning everyone in the room. The pregnancy was difficult, there were complications during delivery, and there was a moment where doctors weren't sure if either of them would survive. "I remember standing in that hospital hallway being told I might lose them both, my wife and my unborn child, and feeling more helpless than I've ever felt in my life. Obviously they both survived, my son is here and my wife recovered, but that trauma has stayed with me for over 30 years. I've never spoken about it publicly because it felt too private, too painful, too much like exposing something sacred." He explained why he was choosing to share this story now, and his reasoning was connected directly to Song Hye Kyo. "Now my son is about to become a father himself, and the woman carrying my grandson is going through pregnancy at an age that doctors consider high risk," he continued. Song Hye Kyo has been incredibly brave, incredibly strong, sharing her struggles publicly and helping other women feel less alone. But I know my son is terrified. I see it in his eyes even when he's trying to be strong for her. I see him carrying the same fear I carried. The knowledge that pregnancy and childbirth can be dangerous, that things can go wrong, that the women we love are taking enormous physical risks to bring life into the world. Then he did something that had everyone in tears. He looked directly at one of the cameras that was recording the event for the charity's website and spoke to his son as if they were alone in a room together. Min-ho, if you're watching this, and I hope you are, I need you to know something, he said, his voice breaking. I understand your fear because I lived it. I understand what it feels like to love someone so much that the thought of losing them is unbearable. I understand the helplessness of watching the woman you love go through something difficult that you can't fix or take away. But I also need you to know that fear is normal, that it comes from love, and that Song Hye Kyo is stronger than your fear. Trust her, trust the doctors, trust that the same way your mother and you made it through, Song Hye Kyo and your son will too. He turned his attention to Song Hye Kyo next, speaking about her with such warmth and respect that everyone watching fell in love with him instantly. Song Hye Kyo, you've been such a gift to our family, he said with tears streaming down his face. From the moment we met you, my wife and I knew you were special. We knew our son had found someone extraordinary. Watching you navigate this pregnancy with such grace while sharing your struggles so honestly, you've earned my respect and admiration beyond what I can express. You're going to be an incredible mother. You're already showing the strength and vulnerability that great mothers have. And I want you to know that you have a family behind you, supporting you, ready to help in any way you need. You're not just my son's partner, you're my daughter now, and that means everything. Then came the part that absolutely destroyed everyone emotionally. He talked about his unborn grandson directly, speaking to baby Juno with such tenderness that grown men in the audience were openly sobbing. Juno, my grandson, you don't exist yet in the world, but you already exist in my heart, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I'm an old man now, but you're making me feel young again. You're giving me purpose and joy I didn't know I could still feel. I've built businesses, made money, achieved what the world calls success, but none of that compares to the happiness I feel knowing you're coming. I promise to be the grandfather you deserve. I promise to teach you about your heritage, your family history, the values that have sustained us through generations. I promise to spoil you just enough but not too much, to give you wisdom without lectures, to be there for you always. He shared his hopes and dreams for his grandson in ways that revealed so much about his character and values. I hope you grow up knowing you're loved unconditionally, he said. I hope you have your mother's strength and your father's heart. I hope you learn that being a man means being gentle, that strength includes vulnerability, that success means nothing without integrity. I hope you grow up in a world that's kinder than the one we live in now, and I hope you contribute to making it that way. I hope you know your grandfather loved you before you were born and will love you until I take my last breath. He addressed the charity event attendees and explained why maternal and child health had become so personally important to him. After almost losing my wife during childbirth, I've donated to maternal health causes quietly for 3 decades, he revealed. I've funded prenatal clinics, supported training for obstetric nurses, paid for care for mothers who couldn't afford it, all anonymously because I never wanted attention for it. But now I'm going public because I want other men, other fathers and grandfathers, to understand how important this work is. The women in our lives take enormous risks to bring children into the world. The least we can do is ensure they have the best possible care, regardless of their economic circumstances. So today I'm pledging a significant donation to this organization, and I'm challenging other men in this room to do the same. The amount he pledged was staggering, enough to fund multiple new maternal health clinics across Korea and provide free prenatal care to thousands of women. But more than the money, it was the vulnerability and honesty that made this moment so powerful. Here was a wealthy, powerful man admitting fear and trauma, expressing emotions publicly, valuing women's health and well-being over maintaining a stoic masculine image. The men in the room responded immediately, standing and pledging their own donations, creating a wave of support that resulted in millions of dollars for maternal health in less than 15 minutes. But he wasn't finished. He had more to say, and what came next elevated this from a touching moment to a truly transformative one. He started talking about his relationship with his son and the distance that had existed between them for years. Min-ho and I haven't always had the easiest relationship, he admitted with painful honesty. I was raised in a generation where fathers were providers and authority figures, but not necessarily emotionally available. I worked constantly when he was growing up, missing school events and family moments because I thought providing financially was the most important thing I could do. I thought showing love meant giving him opportunities and advantages, not hugs and words of affirmation. And I regret that now. I see my son as a man preparing to become a father himself, and I see him trying to be the father I wasn't always, and I'm so proud of him and so sad about what I missed with him. This confession shocked everyone because it went against everything Korean culture typically expects from fathers of that generation. They don't admit regrets, they don't question their parenting, they don't express vulnerability about relationships with their children. But Lee Min-ho's father was doing all of that publicly, and the emotional impact was seismic. He wants to be there for every moment with his son, he continued. He's rearranging his entire career and life to be present and involved as a father. He's reading books, taking classes, preparing in ways I never did. And I'm watching this and feeling pride but also grief for what I didn't do, for the moments with him I can't get back. So I want to say to him publicly, Min-ho, I'm sorry for the times I wasn't there. I'm sorry for prioritizing work over family. I'm sorry for not being more emotionally present in your life. And I'm grateful you're going to do better than I did. He talked about how this pregnancy has brought their family closer together in ways nothing else has. Preparing for Juno's arrival has given me something I thought I'd lost, he said. It's given me a chance to reconnect with my son, to build a different kind of relationship than we had before. We talk regularly now, really talk, not just surface conversations about business or weather but deep conversations about life and fear and hope. He asks my advice about fatherhood, and I'm honest with him about my mistakes so he can do better. My wife and I are spending time with Min-ho and Hye Kyo, helping where we can, just being present. This baby is healing wounds in our family I didn't even realize needed healing. Then he addressed something that clearly bothered him deeply, the criticism and judgment Hye Kyo has faced. I want to say something about the way some people have talked about my future daughter-in-law, he said with obvious anger in his voice. The comments about her age, about her body, about her pregnancy choices. It's been disgusting and I won't stay silent about it. Hye Kyo is a grown woman making informed decisions about her own body and her own baby. She doesn't need or want your opinions. She doesn't owe anyone a perfect pregnancy or a certain type of experience. The fact that she's been open and honest despite facing judgment shows incredible courage. Anyone criticizing her should be ashamed of themselves. My son chose an extraordinary woman, and our family is lucky to have her. He shifted to talking about his wife, Lee Min-ho's mother, and the role she's playing in supporting Hye Kyo. My wife has been incredible throughout this, he noted with obvious love and admiration. She's been there for Hye Kyo in ways only another woman can be, sharing her own pregnancy experiences, offering comfort and practical advice, being a mother figure. When my wife gave that public interview supporting Hye Kyo and validating her struggles, I've never been more proud of her. She could have stayed silent or worried about appearances, but instead she chose truth and support. That's the kind of family we're building for our grandson, one based on honesty and love rather than image and perfection. He talked about the changes he's making in his own life to be available for his grandson. I'm stepping back from some business responsibilities, he revealed. I'm delegating more, working less, creating space in my life for what really matters. I missed too much of my son's childhood working constantly, and I'm not making that mistake with my grandson. I'm stepping back from some business responsibilities, he revealed. I'm delegating more, working less, creating space in my life for what really matters. I missed too much of my son's childhood working constantly, and I'm not making that mistake with my grandson. I want to be at birthday parties and school performances. I want to teach him to fish and tell him stories about his ancestors. I want him to know his grandfather not as some distant figure but as someone actively present in his life. Whatever years I have left, I want to spend them loving my family, not accumulating more money or status that won't matter when I'm gone. He addressed the broader issue of how Korean society treats pregnancy and motherhood, using his platform and privilege to speak truth about systemic problems. We need to do better as a society supporting pregnant women and mothers, he stated firmly. We need better maternity leave policies, better healthcare access, better childcare options, better workplace protections. We need to stop judging women's reproductive choices and start supporting them whatever choices they make. We need men to step up as equal partners in parenting, not helpers but true co-parents. And we need to change the cultural narrative that motherhood diminishes women rather than adding another dimension to who they are. Then came what many consider the most powerful moment of the entire speech. He looked back at the camera and spoke one final message to his son. Min-ho, I know you're scared, but I also know you're ready for this, he said with complete conviction. You're going to be an incredible father because you already love your son more than anything. You already prioritize him over your career and your image. You already see Hye Kyo as an equal partner to support rather than someone to take care of. You're already doing all the things I wish I had done. Don't let fear overshadow joy. Don't let anxiety rob you of the excitement you deserve to feel. Trust yourself, trust Hye Kyo, trust that love is enough. And know that your mother and I are here, not to interfere but to support however you need. I'm so proud of the man you've become and the father you're going to be. Love you, son. The room erupted in applause that lasted several minutes. People were standing, crying, hugging strangers, completely overwhelmed by what they had just witnessed. Lee Min-ho's father stood there accepting the response with humility and grace, clearly surprised by the reaction but also visibly relieved to have finally spoken these truths publicly. The video of this moment was shared immediately by attendees and picked up by every media outlet within hours. Within 24 hours it had been viewed over 100 million times globally, making it one of the most watched Korean videos of all time. The response from fans has been overwhelming and almost universally positive. Comment sections filled with people expressing shock and emotion, many saying they cried throughout the entire speech. Fans who have followed Lee Min-ho for years said this gave them completely new perspective on him, understanding more about where he comes from and what shaped him. Many fans expressed newfound respect and love for Lee Min-ho's father, appreciating his vulnerability and honesty. The fact that he admitted mistakes and regrets rather than defending his past choices particularly resonated with people tired of older generations refusing to acknowledge their failures. Lee Min-ho's response came quickly and was as emotional as his father's speech. He posted a photo of himself and his father from childhood, both of them smiling, captioned simply, "I love you, Dad. Thank you for everything you've given me and everything you're teaching me still. Let's give Juno the grandfather I know you'll be." The simplicity and sincerity of this response perfectly captured the healing happening in their relationship. Fans noted that Lee Min-ho rarely posts about his family, making this public acknowledgement of his father even more significant. Hye Kyo also responded with a heartfelt post thanking her future father-in-law for his words and his support. "To call me daughter and grandson family before any official ceremonies or paperwork, that acceptance means everything," she wrote. "You and Mrs. Lee have welcomed me with open hearts and I'm so grateful. Juno is lucky to have you as his grandfather." The warmth between Hye Kyo and Lee Min-ho's parents has been evident throughout the pregnancy, but these public expressions of love and acceptance made it undeniable. Lee Min-ho's mother gave a brief interview after her husband's viral moment, clearly proud but also emotional. "He surprised even me," she admitted. "He's not usually one for public displays or speeches. But this pregnancy has changed him, opened him up emotionally in ways I haven't seen in our 40 years together. Becoming a grandfather has given him permission to feel and express things he's kept locked inside for decades. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful to Hye Kyo and our son for creating this opportunity for growth and healing in our family." Medical and mental health professionals praised the speech for multiple reasons. Therapists highlighted the importance of men, especially older men, expressing emotions and admitting regrets publicly. The modeling of emotional availability from a successful businessman challenges toxic masculinity and gives permission for other men to be vulnerable. Maternal health advocates celebrated the attention and funding brought to their cause by someone with significant influence and resources. Cultural experts discussed how this moment represents shifting generational attitudes about fatherhood, family, and what masculinity can look like. The business community also responded, with several CEOs and executives inspired by Lee Min-ho's father's example to re-evaluate their own work-life balance and family priorities. Some announced new family-friendly policies at their companies, including improved paternity leave and flexible schedules for working parents. Others pledged donations to maternal and child health causes, creating a ripple effect that has resulted in significant funding for programs across Korea. The speech sparked important conversations in boardrooms and executive suites about success, legacy, and what actually matters in life. Drop your comments and share how Lee Min-ho's father's speech affected you. Did it change how you see him or his son? Did it make you think about your own family relationships? Did it inspire you to express things you've been keeping silent? Share your stories because creating community around these experiences is how we heal and grow together. Make sure you hit that like button if this video moved you, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and turn on every single notification because we're in the final stretch now. Baby Juno will be here any day, and when that moment comes, you'll want to be part of the celebration. This family's journey has become our journey, and we're all counting down together to meeting this baby boy who is already so loved by millions around the world.